Hi all, welcome to this October into kind of November roadmap as it were. Basically we are sort of just getting ourselves prepared for after the international break, because obviously usually over the international break we only really have second division squads playing, so like Tenerife, Albacete, all those guys. They're pretty much the only ones we actually have any real use over the international break, unless we have the odd player covered by an international game. What we've been doing is, with as you can see, we've got 8 rares now at the moment. Basically, we've been preparing for Cap 220 for the ACL game weeks. We had prepared, we'd got 5 for the first game week. We'd got Amat and Steenvoorden very early. We were delighted with that. Then Iskandarov and Damien Letalik not long after. Then Dimitri was added, and then before the game week had started, we had been trying to get forward. So the short list was like Zivkovic, Utaka, Samata, and a few others in this kind of say. At most was like £12 worth of ETH, and the lowest was Utaka was 6. It was basically 6 to 12 quid's worth of ETH is what our budget was. And what had happened, we couldn't get a Zivkovic deal to save our life. We couldn't get a Samata deal. Could have happened. I was only holding off because I decided to go against, because Samata's team of Palk were playing Eintracht Frankfurt. And I was like, I don't see Samata scoring well. I think he didn't in the end. He only scored about 35 anyway. I ended up with Utaka. Someone had listed up super cheap. He was like £9 at the time. It was the next cheapest. This was bought for 6, and I was like, I'll take it. And it means I've at least got a forward. I've then got the full team of 4 regardless. Zivkovic, I had went through every owner and tried everything. It went as high as I think it was just shy of £11. I went to £10-11, and no one was biting. Nobody. There was, I think, one person that eventually took a bit of biting to try and get a sale, but they were wanting, in my eyes, just a little bit too much for me. It was out my budget, and I was like, come on, let's try and get a deal done. And they were like, nah, this is the lowest I'm willing to go. And I'm like, well, this is the last 10-15 sales, you're never going to get that. But they were quite insistent, and in the end we got Zivkovic in the end, on Tuesday, Tuesday night or something. Popped up cheap, basically $9.43, and I was like, I'm taking it. It was annoying as well, because if we'd got Zivkovic for that game week, we would have got a tier 4, I think it was a tier 4 reward. But it is what it is. We take on the chin. It would have been brilliant. First attempt at 220 rare, because the team we ran was Steenvoorden, Iskandarov, Dimitri, Utaka, and Amat. That was the 5. Was it the 5? 1, 2. Yeah, sorry, that was the 5, because Letalik was in kick-off rare. Doubt myself there for a second. But basically we're just unlucky, really. It would have been great to have got over the line and get ourselves a rare reward. We've added a list in as well, because he played really well. We had him in 220. We would have had him in Asia if I knew Cimarot hadn't been playing. But at the moment, I feel we've got good options. I probably will add maybe an extra limited or 2 in somewhere, but with Sakine and Lestien's limited part of it all, I feel there's at least enough options, forward wise, midfield wise. Try to get rid of Vukic, so I'll probably maybe just get an extra forward that's playing in the game weeks, just to kind of cover. But it is 4 game weeks. What I aim to do with the rares is the ones that qualify, I aim to keep. So if say Johor go through, if Kofu go through. If Kofu would go through, I probably wouldn't keep Utaka. I'd probably maybe sell him, and maybe look elsewhere. If Home United or Lion City Sailors were to go through, I'd definitely keep Lestian and Zivkovic. They would. It is a bit of a hold, like holding like 25 quid's worth of cards. It could be better used, especially when they wouldn't really have use for a couple months. But what I would aim to do is I would try and put as much time as possible in fielding them in like cap, like say 220 kickoff rare, as much as possible. Get the XP up hopefully as much as possible. If we can push it to say 10, if we could genuinely get to like over 10%, say by the time the post Christmas, like say when it comes to February, we'd be laughing. Like Navbahor, I fancy to go through. They look really impressive. They did the damage against Mumbai City, and I fancy them home and away, and against the Iranian team. I've tried to keep pronouncing them, and I just can't get the I think it's like very simple to pronounce, but it's just the lettering I think is throwing me. But yeah, Latalek will probably be one that will go because Hanoi have lost 2 in the spin, looked awful. And if I can get my money back, I'll be delighted, but it's going to be harder said than done. The challenge as well that we've, as you can see with this, we've got 2 defenders, 2 forwards, and 4 mids. If you've noticed, we could, if we were to get a rare goalie, we could make a 240 team happen. But that's only when it's a game week where everybody's playing, and at the moment that isn't the case. Because game week 417, 418, what we've had to do is buy an extra forward. That's how Zivkovic just came in, because half the team play one game week and the other half play another week. I've still got to sort out another forward regardless, so I may sell Zivkovic. Not sell Zivkovic, that's a lie. I may sell Utaka to make it make things happen, or I'll have a look, because for the first half of the game week it's like a Matt, Iskandarov, Latalek, and I think that was it for the first half, because the second half were like Zivkovic, Lestian, Utaka and so forth. That was like the 418 side of it, but I'll have a look. Wood's serving us well, so we might have to, as I say, we might have to nab another goalie over that kind of game week. So I'll have a look, see who's playing that kind of like 417, 418. Like 418 would be Wood anyway in 220, but then, well, possibly in 220, it would just depend what we have. Like Quintero's like another recent addition. I may have to quickly think about just selling him, because it's for this game week coming, so it's basically where we're like, right, what have we got, where are we going with it. We aim to kind of filter the gallery a little bit, like offload what we don't want or kind of need. Like Geordie's someone I'd like to keep anyway for challenger squads, even though I'm aiming to add the Hibs collection now that they've been minted for this season. So the players that we don't have, like Alf, Venta, Levitt, Doig, Abita, Harbottle, Delfriere, Boric, like there's like 9 players all told we need, Rudy Molotnikov and so forth. I aim to just buy the ones that we don't have that are either say starting 11 players or they're subs that get game time, and the aim is that will cover for like 220, 240, challenger and so forth. It will literally just fill in the gaps that when J League and MLS are in their winter break that were sorted. Like really just now, I would probably say deep down there is maybe say 10, 15 cards, maybe more. I'd maybe even push it to 20. That would probably like even happily offload, because it would be Hibs players that are part of the collection that I don't need. If same with Avispa, if the collection is still over a percentage, same with even maybe Albacete, or I would just say, right, let's get rid of them, and I can say, right, let's see what gaps to fill. Because obviously, yes, we've got like Leganes and Cartagena as well, but Gyro's not been playing the last few games, or Tuno's back into like bench position again. It's a bit annoying. Miramon's been injured and like losing game time and stuff. So I've got to have a think on what we're happy to sell. Because as you can see, our funds aren't the best at the moment, and I would say deep down, I'm going to assume this is just the SPF. Yeah, I thought that. And because there's like, I see no reason to like offload any of my goalies personally. Like I love how under 23 has like, when I bring in like the Hibs players that we're trying to bring in, like Boric and so forth, that eventually can possibly enable the under 23 possibility again. But at the same time, I'm like, right, see what happens. Like, what we've got to remember as well, we're still waiting on our tier 1 reward from Sorare data. So even though we've got low funds just now, depending what we get, the funds could go up astronomically, because it could be a high-end tier 1. We've already started off well for the month. For October, we're in a we're like really strong position at the moment. We're rare tier 2 and a limited tier 2 at the moment, but we're really trying to give that a right good go for the month to try and get a rare reward, because last month we could have easily got it for Challenger. I feel confident that we can get it this month again. We could get it this month, be laughing. If it is a tier 2, tier 3, brings serious funds into the kitty, and we'd have a real chance. And then I might not have to really think about offloading. I'd only really have to offload players that in essence we no longer use, or have been like kind of phased out their squads, like injured, so forth. Like Aitor Sands, he'll probably be getting phased out soon, and it allows us to plan for next season for J League and MLS. But it's more MLS I'd rather prioritise getting right next season. I feel America, we kind of underperformed. Asia, we were great with Avispa. Consa did well in stages throughout, they've helped, but we know full well MLS, we need to put a bit more time in, get it right, and really give it a right good go. Because I feel, as I said, we'd like to hopefully between, say, but as we said, it comes down to how the form of these initial rares do. Because if 220 for say 2 game weeks in a row because of 417, 418, if we were to end up with rewards, even if it's a tier 5, it gives us more of a foothold, and we can hopefully, probably after the year, I would say, realistically, because time I start offloading stuff and whatnot, that we can possibly consider rare 240s properly, maybe say, or rare 220s and rare 240s properly, with say like a Hibs or an Avispa or a Tenerife. Because if I'm actually honest, Avispa for rare 220 really tempts me, simply because of, like, after the year, obviously, once the new season kicks in, because I would scout the likes of Kono, Idaguchi, Lukian, Yamagishi, Nara, Hiroyuki Mei, and really just try and give it a right good go. I feel like the gallery can be tidied up a little bit better, there's no denying. It's just how we kind of make it happen, really. That's what it comes down to. Because for me personally, with America, I'd like to have 2 or 3 limited goalies for next season that I can rely on. I would like to have another starting goalie, even though I've got Higashiguchi and Murakami at the moment. I would like a third I can fall back on. Then, like, I've got an idea of what I like that I will plan between, say, like now and the next international break, but it's then seeing in a month's time, for example, does it happen? That's what it comes down to. Like, but we'll see what happens. You never know. The coins might, the Sorare coins might get spent on something in Sorare itself, and you never know. Might get a shirt, and like our funds, as we've said, all these rares have all came courtesy of trading Threshold and our extra funds from Coinbase wallet, doing those latest quests. So it's, yes, it looks a bit daunting that we have spent like basically 50 quid on like ACL players for limited rares and a Cantero, but that 50 quid, for all we know, say pretty much by December, could be laughing. But see what happens. It's all going to be trial and error. I'm still getting used to obviously the new overlay as well, and all that kind of good stuff. So quickly jump to the market for Hibs. So just the Hibs limiteds we're focused on. So it's 42 on the market at the moment. So as we said, we want Doig, we want Lafondra, we would like Delfriere. I'm not really stressed for Wallacott, but I will still try and go from anyways. Then from others that are involved with the squad, I might try and get Ruben. Like Rudy, I'd like to get Abita, Levitt, and Boric. Like, Boric won't be cheap because he's at least getting a bit of game time, and if I'm brutally honest, I would rather see him as more a number 2 just now than Jojo when he comes back. I feel Boric might get the nod if Walcott's not fit and Marshall is saying I'm carrying a niggle or whatever. Boric might get the nod, and that's when I would say to myself, get a Boric as much as best I can. Like, that's his mint, like his first one, and I probably wouldn't touch it. I'd try and keep away. And the good thing is, we've been on a national break, players aren't playing, so, and I don't see the point buying 23, 24 versions of players already, basically the rest of the collection, unless I was trying to go for the 5%, which I'm not going for. It's Adventa's another one, Riley Harbottle another. I think that's everyone. 113 quid for, yeah, there's Ruben there, so he's at 467 for his first rookie card. That's not going to be cheap, but we will just keep an eye, see what pops up and try and get it. Yeah, time will tell, and like the rares we're not fussed for because they're going to go for an arm and a leg anyway. Both fish will probably go for a few quid, but see what happens. We'll have a quick look at Vispa actually. As we said, the Vispa was the other team. If we were to plan post, interesting. I've not set any positions and I've not set any. So very few on the auction at the moment. Murakami limited, Yamagishi. Right, so I'd have to look at the manager sales then. So as we said, rares is what we're looking at the moment. I actually really like this better. This for auctions is miles better. I absolutely, I would say I love it because it's just so easy for me because I'm so used to seeing. I'd like to see everything wide on the screen. But yeah, Nara, Yamagishi, Mai, Kono, Maiwa, Ideguchi. I'd probably just try and get. I'd like literally would get like a bit of everything. Like looking for 16 quid at the moment. If I'm not playing, that's something I'd keep an eye on. Like personally, Growly for 7 quid's a bit of a steal. And that's the thing. I would literally just say, right, what do we need? We need that. We need that. We need that. And there's no point buying it just now when I don't have the funds and they're it would be basically a short-term hold. If I could get 4 and 220 rare could happen on a short-term basis, then we could make it happen. Because what I would then do is I would get Growly, I'd get Kanamori probably, or Kono, depending who I'd went for. I might even consider Daiki Maya. I'd probably go the cheap end, I won't deny. So it'd be, as I say, Growly or Maiwa, then Kanamori or Kono, then in fact you could get 4. So you could, I like how there's a mid version of Yamagishi that has real intrigue when it's the old one. But yeah, so 1, depending what, like if you were going on price, you'd probably end up Growly, Kanamori, Maya and Lucian. So you'd be basically, you could spend, we'll just say 40 quid, give or take. You might get lucky and it might be a wee bit less. Would it have a chance? Yes, especially if Lucian's fit. At worst, you'd have to then go and spend on a Yamagishi, try and rummage around the back of the sofa. But I'd certainly give it. It would tempt me to give it a go on the non-ACL game weeks till the end of the season, and it'd be a bit of fun. But you never know, because if this was paid off well, and yes, they've got a little hard run over the next. But the problem is, there's only like from now to the end, start of December. So you've only got about say 6. It's about 6 weeks left of games, because you've got another international break to throw in as well, and like I think the cup finals, play a factor as well. So we'll wait and see. And as I say, we'll keep an eye on this, because it has potential as an outside the box, not necessarily outside the box. It's just if things can go our way between now and like the end of, because if I could get them cheap enough, because people would just be like, just for talking sake, Growly 7 quid. This person might say, give me 6 quid and I'll be happy, and I'll be like, if you'll take 6, as long as I know that they're definitely fit and playing, I'd be like, right, we're in there. It's the same with like Lucian, and if I check, I'll quickly refresh it because it helps so I can see how many the list. I want to see all the listings for like Maya, for example, or Kanamori. Actually, Kanamori would be what I'd rather check because there's 5 to 3 there. So yeah, Rivaldo would like 9 quid. And they're saying no trades now, just for his last 5 games. Like if you get his August form, the start of August form, you're laughing. There's definitely I would say there's potential in that to get cheap. I really do, but we'll see what happens. Looking, I know the situation with him with being injured. It's either the bots or Pug at the moment, and because he's not played this month, has slowly dwindled away the price. That is the problem. So if he's not fit, then it makes it harder, because we kind of do need him playing. I hadn't checked. He didn't play. He was not on the bench, I think, even yesterday in the Cup semi first leg. So mind, they might not even want to put him in that squad if they don't need to risk him. But as I said, we will wait and see, keep an eye and take it from there. But let me know, folks, what your plans are for, say, the next month. Rambled on a little bit, but have a good one, folks. Take it easy all, and I will catch you all later.